There's a lot of visa options out there, but if your company qualifies for an L1A, it might be the best strategic visa that you could file for on behalf of your employees. I'm going to go through 5 reasons why global companies like the L1A visa. My name is Rahim Dhanani. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. I've been helping companies bring key personnel into the US for more than 25 years. So, the first reason that companies like the L1A is that it lets them transfer key executives and managers into the US that they already know. So, these people have been working at the company for at least a year, usually much longer. They're trusted employees, they're key personnel. They don't have to worry about looking for new talent to train and really get up to speed, which can take years in some cases. So that's the first reason that a company would like an L1A visa. You get to bring in people that you already know and trust to do the job. The second reason that companies like the L1A visa is there's no lottery like there is on the H1B. So it's less up to chance. It's basically, can you put a good application together and prove all the points that are needed for the application? So as long as you can do that, then potentially, if you filed under the premium processing program, you could get the application approved within 15 business days or so. There might be a request for evidence, which might slow things down, but assuming that everything went well at the beginning, within 15 days versus waiting for an H-1B lottery, where you would file in maybe April, and even if it got approved, you still wouldn't be able to bring the employee in until October because that's when the actual visa on the H-1B becomes available. So that's several months versus within a few weeks, you might be able to get an L1A executive or manager in the US. The third reason that companies like the L1A is because spouses of L1A visa holders who would get the L2 designation are eligible to work. And that's a big deal for a lot of executives and managers. Some professionals are married to other professionals who want to use their degrees. And so this is another nice benefit of the L1A is that the spouses are able to work as L2 spouses. A fourth reason why companies like the L1A is if you're doing a startup in the US and you have the overseas company, then the L1A allows for startups to come in and bring in an executive or a high-level manager to set up operations in the US, which is not necessarily available in other visa categories. So it's advantageous if you have an overseas company and you want to start a US operation. The L1A is potentially a great option for you. And then the fifth reason that companies and employees like the L1A is it has a quicker avenue to getting permanent resident status for the employee. So again, going back to the H-1B, you have to go through a perm process, which is an application with the Department of Labor, which can take more than a year and a half. Who knows, by the time you're watching this, it might be like 2 years before the perm process gets completed with the Department of Labor. And then you have to file with the USCIS and in the EB2 or EB3 category. And depending on what country you're from, that could be several years versus on the L1A, you don't have to go through the perm process. So you save all of that time, the year and a half to 2 years. And then also you can file under the EB1 category. And while some countries are somewhat backlogged on the EB1 category by maybe a year or two, it's still a lot better than 10 years in the EB2 or EB3 category. Most countries are not backlogged in that EB1 category. Usually, sometimes there's backlogs, but usually they're not backlogged. And so it's just a quicker route to the green card. You don't have to go through the perm process. And there's usually an immigrant visa available for somebody in the EB1C category for executives and managers. So those are 5 reasons that companies that are global like the L1A. The L1A isn't right for every company, but does offer serious advantages if it fits your particular scenario. It's worth trying out. I hope that's helpful, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.